She's a very, very, it's a very interesting thing related to grief in a way that people might not normally think of it.
And plus, with this topic of grief, is extending mercy to God. You know, why did you take my parent away? Why did you take this? Why did you let this happen? That type of thing. So,
well, that's the whole C.S. Lewis thing. You know, there's
absolutely.
throughout that extraordinary book,
yeah,
he refers to God at times as a cosmic sadist.
yeah,
And that's for him, who is such a devout person and has led so many other people to being devout.
yeah.
That's really extraordinary.
And I think I like the book also, not just only talking about the sick and dying, normal people in a normal life, you know, children that they may not be, they are actually not, you know, they have burden in their own life because of illnesses. Yet we don't invite the people to talk about grief in that sense. And I think that is beautiful, that when you write in your book, there's so many opportunities for people to go and almost like giving them permission to talk about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I always say, look, they know what happened. They were there.
Right.
They saw every terrible thing. And they know that. They don't forget it. It's still in their mind. And it lives weirdly in the mind like shame. Because maybe they saw something that was horrible or awkward, or they saw a parent in a certain way, you know. I don't know if we mentioned this book, and I don't know, it's something we would necessarily talk about in public. There was a girl who saw her father naked at the end of his life, and that was very upsetting to her because it was shameful. You know. My reaction was, that's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And you were there. That's why you saw a bad thing, because you were there doing your duty. You get medals for the really hard things. You don't get medals for the easy things, you know. So, but those things live in somebody like they had a shameful thing happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's turning, sometimes those shameful things are really noble because somebody was there.
So we're going to begin the conversation from this, hopefully, the panelists. You will bring up a lot of good things. And I'm hoping that the student will find ways to get help or whatever.
Sure.
The reason why I try to, contact you and Professor Jonathan Rothschild, I hope that when students need something, they will know places to go and ask for help.
Okay, that's good.
And that would be great.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're in agreement here.
Yeah. Because we'll create an opportunity to have them speaking in any of the ways. Like it could be pastoral, it could be clinical, it could be intellectual, or it could just be purely conversational. And to let them know that all of those things are, working together now. In this.
Well, you were talking earlier, Marie, about this being the Holy Spirit. Interesting enough, I'm not sure if you know, but I wrote a book on creating rituals. And there's a whole section there about, creating rituals for grief and moving forward. So this is really good. So.
I think everybody should be jealous for me because this is wonderful that I get to hear all three of you talking together in this topic. It's almost like having candy. It's better than Godiva.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm for you to convene this. I think it's a conversation. There's such a hunger for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways, but certainly around this subject. And this is what we do here. This is this is LMU at its best.
Okay. Father Jim, you connect with a lot of seminarians. we have to pray that he's not going to call to do the TV show on that day.
I'm an actor and I do a television show.
Oh, I see.
And it's a television show called Major Crimes, and I play a judge on it.
Oh,
And they blocked me out for the whole month, but I haven't gotten the specific schedule
Oh,
yet.
gotcha.
So
Because
we have to be
I
sure.
really
Oh,
think that if you're going to be there, then we can have the people sell the book from the
that's fine.
bookstore.
You can do
But
whatever.
if you're not,
That's not necessary. You can do it however you want. They can order it on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's in our library.
Yeah.
I'm not on the hustings
Well,
just to
they
sell the
want
books. They can do that if
the
they want.
author
It's fine.
to
I'm
sign
happy
the
to.
book,
I will be happy to make myself available to do that. But really, this is just a jumping off point for a lot of people to have a conversation.
Absolutely, it's great.
And that's what I think is
and
best.
Father Jim, would you also give me the name of the book? Maybe we'll talk to the bookstore.
Happy to do that.
So
Yeah. Okay.
we can go from there.
Yeah, the thing that I like about this ministerially, and I certainly agree with Ron about this being a perfect place, at the university to talk about it, is that it brings together the whole person in suffering being the cauldron of it, and to be able to not only talk about it, but to recognize this is a place where things come together, but it also falls apart. And that it's almost like a canyon opens up. People would change their lives, like you're saying, going for degrees, seeking reconciliation, or recognizing they do need to walk away from a family that's very dysfunctional. And as I often tell the seminarians, that this is a place not only where ministry is at its best, but it can also be ministry at its worst.
Yes,
People are
sure,
trying to repeat
absolutely.
what
And
God
I think
says.
you have people find that clinical people have failed them. They have found that pastoral people have failed them. And they have found that family and friends have failed them.
Oh, yeah.
The person that sometimes you absolutely would have thought
Yeah.
would be there, they're a little bit funny about it, they don't know their place, and they fall short. So it is interesting how the cards shuffle, and a lot of times people that sometimes the family screw up ends up really rising to the occasion in some ways, So that's very interesting, the way that can shake out in a different way than people expected.
Yeah.
Great. So if maybe we could just touch base over email over the next couple days to see if there's anything that emerges, questions or they like
Yeah.
anything like that.
So anybody wants to shoot an email would be great. It's just food for thought is always helpful and,
Yeah,
and
nice.
terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
So
The only thing I would ask, Jonathan, is for all of us, is are there specific points that you'd like us to address under the headings that you've given us? That would be helpful to know, so that we're not just shooting our favorite topics, but if there's something that you want us to at least mention or address, I think that would be helpful.
okay. I will draft this and then I'll bring it up to you, Professor. I'll bring it up to your office tomorrow, and then after you see it, and then I'll email everybody.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and feel free, like I said, you can just shoot me an email. Food for thought emails, that's
Yeah.
what I always titled them.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'll look forward to
Great.
seeing you in person,
Yeah.
John. Take care.
Good to meet you, Ron.
Thank you so
Again-
much.
Again, thank you for.
And I
putting
will
together the book.
definitely keep you posted.